Hey gang, I'm sitting somewhere uptown, and this is I have no idea what this is. This building right here actually used to be the it used to be a store where everything was sold for $1 or less, and unfortunately, it didn't stay around very long. So it's pretty much like the Dollar Tree before the Dollar Tree happened. Anyway, uh, now you may be kind of looking at the title of this video and wondering why on earth did I put the word hardcore in quotation marks? Well, there's a reason for that, and it's because a little while ago I saw I saw I saw something on, I think it was Yahoo News, that really made me just kind of angry. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably seen it too by now. And it's the fact that it's a story of a Missouri man who Batista bombed a 2-year-old girl, and the mother of the child and the boyfriend are up on charges because unfortunately the poor little girl didn't make it. Now, something like this makes me just, well, ashamed to be a wrestling fan. Now, when some people are considered hardcore wrestling fans, it could be considered one of two things. It could mean hardcore like ECW or XPW was, or like CZW and IWA Mid-South is nowadays, or anything like that. I mean, if that's your pleasure, then hey, that's all right. That's your thing. But then there are the hardcore wrestling fans, who are ones that take it way too seriously. The ones that want to go out there and perform and do these moves that, sorry, I'm just getting this little, do the moves to their friends or family members, because they'll sit there and say, well, I see it on TV, I can probably do it too. And I will admit, when I was a kid, my friends and I would occasionally wrestle with each other, but we wouldn't try to hurt each other. I mean, yes, we'd get the occasional scrape, bump, bruise, stuff like that, but we didn't really want to try to intentionally hurt each other. And if that kind of thing happened, then we were just told, like, look, if you want to wrestle with your action figures, and we would do that too. So, we get out our wrestling figures or any kind of action figures we had and wrestle with them because, we were just kids. But now you've got the hardcore wrestling fans that, as much as I hate to say this, they come in all ages. Kids, adults, all of them. And they think that just because they see a move on TV, it looks easy and can be done, and they'll sit there and say, well, nobody gets hurt from that kind of thing. Well, there are kids who are going out there and they're doing stuff that they see on TV, the Death Valley Driver, or they'll try and do some sort of or they'll do a power bomb, or they'll try and do a body slam or a rock bottom or something like that, and they'll wind up hurting their friends or younger siblings or worse. And every time a kid does this, the outrage goes out, and the number one question that always seems to be getting asked is, where are the parents? Where were the parents at when all this stuff went down? And 9 times out of 10, the parents will sit there and say, oh, well, I just let them play in their room all the time and do their thing, and I guess I should have just paid more attention to what happened to young Billy or little Jimmy or something like that. But when an adult does something like this to a child, you really have to ask the question, what kind of a moron would do something like this? Now, I admit, years ago, when I went to stay with my brother in Oklahoma for Christmas and Thanksgiving, his daughters, my nieces, we'd play around with them, you know. I would put them in the claw, you know, everything like that. But I would never put pressure on their heads or anything like that, or, you know, I would just do it like that, and I'd go, I got the claw on you. What are you going to do? You cannot escape, you know, stuff like that. And they would giggle and laugh and everything like that. And then I would, and then, you know, sometimes I would put them in the ankle lock, but I would not twist their foot or nothing like that. I would keep it perfectly straight, and instead of, you know, doing it like Kurt Angle has done or Ken Shamrock has done, I would tickle their bare feet and make them laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh, and, you know, it's all in fun. I never ever tried to hurt anybody playing wrestling or anything like that, you know, when I was a kid or anything like that. Nowadays, you got kids who want to imitate the moves, they want to imitate the wrestlers, everything like that. And I can understand that kids just don't know what they're doing, but the thing is, I say this much. If you have not had the proper training, if you have not been to a wrestling school, if you don't know how to perform the moves safely and easily and everything like that, and if you're not willing to practice with somebody that's in the same wrestling school as you are, then you should not be doing this stuff in the first place. And you definitely should not be allowing your kids to be doing this kind of thing, because they could wind up getting seriously hurt or worse. Now, I'm not a professional wrestler. I have not been a part of an indie wrestling show in a really, really, really long time. But there's one thing I did learn, and that is if I slip on something and I'm about to fall on my back, I tuck my chin, because my back might hurt for a little bit, but at least I'm not going to cause any screws to get any more loose than they already are. So, I guess what I'm ultimately trying to say here is that, you know, you really shouldn't be trying to do something that you have no idea of what you're doing. Yes, we get caught up in the fantasy world of entertainment. Yes, wrestling is entertainment, but would I say it's fake? No. I've seen many guys get hurt. I've been to several wrestling shows. I've been part of several wrestling shows, and I've seen guys who get serious bruises and whelps and cuts and stuff like that on them. And you can definitely tell that, you know, it could have been intentional that they put that on there or not. One of the most brutal matches I ever saw in my life, and it became what they call a shoot, you know, a real thing, happened between the Texas Outlaws and Bad Bromance. And this was one of the last shows we ever did in Fort Smith. And the word was that I might have told you guys a story already. I'm not 100% sure. But the word was that Bad Bromance was getting out of the promotion because they were getting swelled heads and they were getting paid lots of money, and they were basically being pushed to being the number one tag team of the promotion. So the veterans of Texas Outlaws says, okay, you guys want to leave? Well, we're going to give you a nice going away party. And they wound up getting seriously hurt. In fact, they didn't even stick around after the show. They packed their gear and they took off. They didn't sign autographs, take pictures with the fans, nothing. So, all in all, just because you see something on TV or in a movie does not mean you should necessarily go out there and do it. Just because you watch a movie like The Fast and Furious doesn't mean you necessarily have to get in your car and race down the highway against a friend of yours and try and do flip-de-doos and stuff like that, because basically you see, you know, everybody in those movies do it. Just because you watch a wrestling match does not mean you need to be going out there and performing moves you have no idea what you're doing. And just because you watch a UFC or MMA fight doesn't necessarily mean you need to go out there and start pounding the holy living snot out of a friend of yours, because basically you see it right there. What you're mostly seeing in TV and movies is entertainment. If you don't know what you're doing, then don't do it. You should not be trying to go out there and intentionally hurting anybody, even if you don't know what you're doing. I mean, if you want to get into a fight and defend yourself, that's one thing. But if you're going to try and go out there and do a power bomb through a table with a buddy of yours, and then your buddy can't walk no more, you should feel bad. In fact, you should go to jail. So ultimately, I guess what I'm really trying to say here is that we all need to stop trying to imitate what we see on TV. Just enjoy the show, have fun, and just like what you see. Don't try to imitate what you see on TV and in the movies, because you're going to wind up getting seriously hurt or worse. So that's just my advice. And I just want to do this little video for you guys real quick to share my thoughts on that moron Missouri man who did that to the 2-year-old girl. I don't know what's going to happen to him, but to be honest with you, it may not be enough. So take care of yourselves, guys. Let's be careful out there with everything we do, and let's not try to hurt one another, okay? Let's just have fun. Enjoy your TV shows, enjoy your movies, and just live life, have fun, and make somebody smile every once in a while. And I hope I made you guys smile, and I hope you had a few good laughs at some of my ridiculous, silly jokes in this video. And of course, if you like my videos, always feel free to subscribe. And however you feel about any of the stuff happening, please leave me a comment down below. Love to hear from you guys. Take care of yourselves. Hope you guys are having a very safe and awesome Memorial Day weekend. And as always, stay strong and rock on.